Hello, everyone. This is Music Mukbang. I'm Zoe, and today we're talking to North. Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
You've lived all over. You were in LA before, or where were you? Again.
Yeah. Um, so I was born in Connecticut, lived there um most of my life, came down to Florida, finished high school, started college, left college, and then went to LA for music and ended up coming back a lot
So,
quicker than I thought I would.
so why did you come back, if you don't mind me asking?
It was like a roommate dispute.
Oh, okay. T.
Yeah. I just kind of got like left out there.
Oh,
Um, and so I was like, I had to like lie to my leasing office and be like, I have COVID. It was just in the middle of COVID. I was like,
okay, okay.
I have to go back to my family. Like you can sublease my apartment. Like I'm leaving all of my like two mattresses, two bed frames, like just donate it all
Oh my gosh.
because I couldn't bring anything back.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy.
yeah.
Uh, so would you like to go back to LA at some point? Or are you fine here?
Um, I have always wanted to like make something because I'm in Southwest Florida.
Okay,
So for reference, like Dominic Fike is from here. Contra Dash spent a little bit of time here, but is
gotcha.
mostly from like California. Um, but there's not much like culture. It's the place of Florida where people go to die. Like they come down here to
Oh, so,
retire and
oh, so
die.
you hang with the old people.
Yeah.
Nice. That's it. Do you play
So
them your music?
yeah, yeah. They all they're super strict. There's like nothing to do here.
Okay.
Um uh there's no venues.
Yeah,
If there are venues, it's very selective.
sure.
I've done shows in kava bars. Like I don't think it's on my Instagram, but literally standing on like steps, like performing in front of like 75 people just outside.
Huh.
Um but yeah, there's like no venues here. And I do want to kind of create something music like a culture down here for music, or having places for people to perform and stuff, because there's a lot of creative people down here. But I would definitely go back to LA to wrap around to
What
your actual question.
when you have the chance, you're like, I'm out.
Yeah, because I also know that with the internet, like you don't need to be in New York or LA, but once you hit
True.
like a certain mark, like you gotta be there.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
So
that, especially with collaboration and if you're making a huge project that you need a lot of different input in, I totally could
yeah,
see the benefit of that. And I guess if you're looking to like play lively and just get it like out
yeah.
there. Yeah, so I feel that. But um did you when did you start making music along that timeline? Was it when you were in Florida?
Yeah, it was 2018 into 2019. I
Mm-hmm.
was a freshman in college, and I got this laptop that I'm talking to you on now
Yeah.
for school, and it came with Logic.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
because I've always been into like the like video editing, like different creative things and stuff. And
Yeah.
so my aunt, who actually like gifted this laptop to me, um, I was like, I will pay you back. Can you add the creative student bundle thing where it comes with like Final Cut, Logic, like two
Yeah.
different things? And so yeah, 2018 to 2019, I started making like joke rap songs and
Hmm.
producing. And from there, I just stopped going to class and just all day, every day on music. So yeah.
Isn't that so cool how you just kind of like fall into stuff like that? Like
Yeah.
people search their whole lives for something where like it just like 2 seconds and the day is gone because you've just been doing that thing that
Yeah.
you love all day, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's interesting that freshman year of college, you've like that quickly.
Yeah.
You've done.
I've
And
always
go
I've
ahead.
always been oh sorry. I've always been in music,
Hmm.
like singing, theater, etc.
Yeah.
But I really thought I was gonna go play college football. I thought that was my thing
Uh-huh.
until I went to a school that didn't have a football program.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I just like kind of dove into music. I was like, hey, I've been singing my whole life. I can actually I've never tried writing, so maybe I'm good at it. Who knows?
Yeah. Was that a hard adjustment for you?
Got pretty lucky. So when I was in high school, I got like D2 offers, D3, and I didn't get any D1 offers, and I wasn't like heartbroken over it because I knew I wasn't the greatest player to ever exist.
Mhm.
So, but all the schools were in like nowhere, middle of nowhere, and I was like, I do not want to go here.
Yeah.
And I also did not have a lot of money to like go to the school. I wanted to go to Full Sail and do like computer animation and all these things, but it's so expensive. And
Right.
so I ended up going to the like my local university that was like within like 30 to 45 minutes of me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got lucky because they don't have a football program, but they had a club football team. So
Yeah.
like we still like wore pads and like it was full contact football. But it was like we played prep schools, so it didn't really matter. But
Yeah.
it was fun to just be able to kind of like still hold on to it and kind of transition. Like I'm doing the thing that I originally thought I was gonna do, but I also found something else. I'm doing both at the same time, so I feel like fulfilled, and then I fully transitioned into doing music.
Absolutely. I based on my own experience and one of my best friends' experiences, I feel like that is the best way to go about it. Kind of just like slowly transitioning. You started out freshman year, kind of just messing around and stuff. Did you post songs right away, or did you kind of hold off?
Oh, off rip, I was on like Instagram stories and like Snapchat because I was like
Yeah.
18, and so I was like, should I drop this? Thinking about making music. How does this sound, guys? And everyone's like, hell yeah. And like the music I was making was god awful. None of it, it's nowhere to be found. So
Oh,
I
good.
don't
So
even I
people
don't even
can't
know.
people did you just click delete on like everything one day?
I've changed my name like 3 times. I've had the hard drive that I make everything on now is like somewhat new. I
Mm-hmm.
had an older hard drive that was from like right when I first started, had like water damage, everything's gone on it. So all of my career that isn't on SoundCloud, like private links, is gone. Like you
Damn.
won't be able to find it there. So I'm kind of glad that happened. The music was so bad, but
Hey, you know what? It's that support that I feel like is encouraging, no?
yeah, it is, and I'm really surprised people went with it because because if one of my friends was making the music that I was making back then was like I think this is my thing, I'd be like, oh,
Buddy.
buddy, just take it back. I'm also like really cynical sometimes.
Oh, I'm the same way. But so at what point, you were making a lot of quote unquote rough, bad music, right? I don't want to call it bad,
It
but
was bad. You can call it bad.
but at what point did you feel like you hit something good or you got a reaction where you're like, oh, I kind of know what I'm doing now?
There was 2 moments. One of them, so the university near me, there's like student living apartments like off campus, and they're
Yeah.
like super nice with like pools and like all these different things. And so the thing back in like 2019 was to go to like these pool parties on, I think it was like Saturday or Sunday, like a
Ooh.
weird, I think it was Sunday actually, like a really weird day to hold
Yeah.
like a darty at a pool.
Yeah. Sunday scaries, Darty. Okay.
Yeah. But they had a DJ there, like it was basically just an aux cord on big speakers. And I went
Sure.
up, and me and my friend like made this like kind of like melodic pop rap song. We
Mm-hmm.
plugged it in and we were like, play this, play this, play this. And they played it, and everyone was like everyone didn't like stop doing what they're doing and just like look around and be like, what is this? They actually like kept going. Some people were like, woo.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then this second moment was very, very soon after that. And I made my first like pop punk, like track where I produced the whole thing myself. I like wrote the whole thing. It's one of my favorite songs still.
Which song is that?
It's called Tightrope. It's been I released it under one of my old names.
Uh-huh.
And then I changed my name, so I had to take everything down. But I am planning on re-releasing it under like
Nice.
Northxix, and I re-recorded it so because my voice has changed so much in like the last almost 5 years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was both of those moments. I was like, yeah, like this is
You
it.
put it on and people did not hate it. In fact, they liked it.
Yeah, they were like outspoken, like, who is this? And I was like,
Yeah.
me.
Trying to Shazam it, right? Right? Nice. Do you find with those changes, the type of music that you make changes or your musical influence change?
Yeah. I mean, my roots are always or will always be in like pop punk, like Fall Out Boy,
Mhm.
My Chemical Romance, like early Panic at the Disco, not the shit that they're making now.
Tea.
And in high school is when I really started getting into like the emo, like rap of
Mhm.
like, I hate calling it that, but like Uzi, you know what I mean? Like everything that was going on
Yeah.
and like,
Juice World?
yeah, Juice World, like the
Mhm.
2016, 17 era. And then
Yeah.
I've always loved Young Thug,
Okay.
but more recently, like since I started making music, I just get deeper and deeper and deeper and like more obscure. So like I'll be hanging out with my friends and I'm just like, do not pass me the aux. Like you're gonna think I'm like really bizarre. Like I'm just
Yeah.
gonna be like bumping to the music that I'm playing. All my friends will be like, this guy's fucking weird.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of like, I mean, it is art, right? It is an
yeah,
art form, but it's kind of like, when people look at a painting or something and they're like, what the, like, why
yeah,
do you like that, right? Everyone has different tastes and all that stuff, but it's interesting how what becomes like mainstream becomes mainstream. Because if you think about it,
yeah,
like if you've ever listened to an artist or like a song or something that was quote unquote before it became popular or before it became pop, uh you kind of think about it, you're like, this is kind of weird. Like
yeah,
it's just weird, but enough people like it so then it's no longer weird, right?
yeah, yeah.
But so who would be some of your influences now? Who are you listening to?
Oh God.
You can pull up the Spotify.
Honestly, don't might not need to. I will anyway. So quick context. The music I make, like the music that's out, like I love it and that's why it's out.
Yeah.
But after a certain point, I was like, like I feel like I can't create this style anymore. Like I've either
Huh.
grown past it or because like it's most of the unreleased songs from like the Where Will You Go and On era. Like
Yeah.
it just sounds like I'm whining, sound like, I don't know, mature. And so um I've definitely been like super, super lost on like what direction I want to go with. So almost exclusively, I've been listening to the Arctic Monkeys' first two albums.
Yeah.
Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not. And then favorite worst nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Bangers.
And it's like the garage like British indie rock of like
Yeah.
2006 and 2007. And so that's like exclusively like what I've been listening to, but like more modern. I've really been liking just to name a few. Of course, Eric Dewey. Love Eric Dewey.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
Jim Legacy. It's
Okay.
this British. God, how do I explain this? Like almost like a gorgeous voice, like R&B, like soft, like voice, but it's
Mm-hmm.
over like if you were to take like Afro pop and like Midwest emo and like combine it together,
Huh.
it's so good. It's so good. Um,
Interesting.
yeah. Of course, Dominic Fike,
Yes.
Brevin Kim. I really like
Brevin Kim is
Wen's.
good.
Yeah, Brevin Kim's awesome.
So would you say your most recent release, September, is that like along with that, like kind of is that new? Is that what you're trying to be making in the future? Is that still something that you're trying to move away from?
Um, it's funny because it is the direction that I want to go in,
Right.
but I made it. It's one of my older songs. I made it like almost 3 years ago now.
Interesting. Okay.
Um, yeah, 2.5 years ago. I made it when I was like right before I went to LA.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, I only had the first 45 seconds to a minute. I didn't have the hook recorded, not even the guitars recorded for the hook.
Mhm.
And it was like that for 2 years. And then I was like, maybe I should finish this. And I finished it. And I was like, I love this.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go for more heavier stuff though.
Mhm.
But yeah, to answer your question simply, yes, that's where I want to go. But it's just funny that it was made so long
Yeah.
before all the songs that I'm complaining about.
It was like your brain knew, right? Before you even knew. Do you play instruments?
Yeah, horribly, but I do.
Okay.
Um, what songs? Wake Me Up, September,
Hmm.
Santa Monica Boulevard. That's it for the songs that are out. All of those are like fully produced by me, like instrument wise. So like, I mean, you can't see any of them, but I have my electric, my acoustic, and then my bass is like back there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I've play all of them, but I can only play bar chords.
Do
So
you find that it changes the way you look at making music at all? Since you've kind of picked them up, or not really?
yeah, because I'm always like, man, if I could just like play instruments the way I can sing, it'd be so much easier. And so then I like stress myself out being like, well, I gotta learn guitar. And then it's like, well, I can't. Like I'm actually, to explain, I'm left-handed,
I am too, yeah.
but my mom is right-handed and she taught me how to do everything. So I write like on pen and paper with my left, but if I were to play sports, it's with my right.
Okay, yeah.
And so every time I play instruments, I play it with like a normal like right-handed person.
Hmm.
But I think I need to start playing left-handed instruments because God, this is like so weird to talk about, but like you know the thing, like if I put down my ring finger, my pinky follows with it.
No. What? What?
Like I can't separate it on just on this hand.
Huh.
Yeah. So my pinky follows it. So I can't, this is like the hand on like right-handed players,
Hmm.
like where they gotta like do all the different chords. But on this one, I can do it. So
Okay.
I feel like I have to switch to left-handed instruments to like actually play. But
Yeah.
anyway.
You produce, or September, you produced all yourself.
Mhm.
Do you do you find when you're working with other producers, you tend to learn a lot? Do you mainly work with other producers for like a stylistic change?
Um, gosh, I've worked with a lot of producers and I'm I know what I want the end product to be, but
Yeah.
I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to like explain how I want to get there.
Hmm.
Um, More recently, I've found um producers that like I work with, and it's just kind of like I just shut up and I just let them do their thing, and if it works, it works. Because before I'd work with the producer and be like, do this, do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and so which sometimes I still do because I know exactly like if I can explain it, I'm gonna tell you to put it in there. But
Yeah.
uh, for reference, like my friend, he's also an artist, Simon. He produces all of his own stuff, and like working with him, like I'll just sit back and like let him do his thing. But I'll be like watching because he uses FL and like I know how to produce on it, and so I'll just kind of like take in like how he does things. But there are still some things that like stylistically kind of like what fill, what break, kind of what style of drums you're putting in, where it's kind of like I don't know how he thought of that.
Right.
But I'm always open to like listening and like kind of like getting I guess inspired by new things. Um, but it's not like this massive learning moment for me. It's just kind of like, oh, that's cool.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just very passive, I guess,
Yeah.
as opposed to like, teach me this. I gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I think that I like function that way because I was the one to like learn how to engineer and produce before a lot of people. So I sat there teaching everyone else.
I see. There you go.
And
Yeah.
so I kind of would consistently run into this issue. Like the people I would want to learn from or like pick up new things from, like I couldn't get in contact with. And
Right.
so I was always the one where it's like, hey man, like teach me how to engineer, like teach me how to produce. And I'm like looking around, like I have no one else that I could go to and like ask these things. So I
Yeah.
just had to kind of like put on my big boy pants and learn it myself.
I totally get that. So tell me about your connection. I guess I don't know. Collaboration, I don't think would be the right word
It's
with.
Origin.
Oh,
So
what? Origin. All
yeah,
right.
it's difficult. It's difficult. So I came up with that.
All right.
And
I
so
was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm gonna pronounce this right.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
No, it's
sorry.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
We can cut that part out and then like you can fill it in with like the correct.
The
Yeah.
correct one. No, it's good. It's good. It's funny.
Okay. Yeah, so my friend Jared, I've known him since like I started making music. Him and I went to the same university,
Mhm.
and he always did like ever since I knew him back all the way back in 2018, he did like videos. Kind of occasionally would do a blog post with our other friend Donovan,
Mhm.
and we all rushed the same frat, but Jared and I didn't end up making it. And
No.
so and then I withdrew from college, and then like we didn't like talk all that much, but then like I came back from LA, and then we just like started hanging out and like talking again.
Yeah.
And he's had this company like an LLC, like it's an actual thing. And I'm like, I love you, Jared, but this branding sucks. And so I was like, if you want, like, I'll work with you on like kind of like creating a new name, like a new everything, and like, and actually build like what you want to build with it. And
Mhm.
so we just had our 1 year for the company like
Yes.
last week.
I saw that on Instagram. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I, yeah, we worked together. I invented a new name that is very difficult to pronounce off rip. Like when people read it, like I don't think I've ever. You're not the only one. I think almost every person has gotten it wrong if they don't hear it from like me or Jared first.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
you should make a compilation of all the different ways people pronounce it wrong.
yeah,
Have
yeah.
that be some content for you. Anyways, sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, created the logo. And we started off doing. He originally wanted to be my manager, but I like already had a manager, and then like we ended up parting ways.
Mhm.
And so, and then he was like, bro, like let me be your manager. I'm like, give it a few months, like let's just work on this. And so
Yeah.
started out being like a blog. We'd cover artists in just like a written article format, and then we got into management. I introduced him to a bunch of like my musician friends, and they ended up like signing under him and
Yeah.
like in the company. And then of course I was like, since I like co-own the company, it's like this weird kind of like I'm under the management, but I just like oversee the creative stuff. Like
Yeah. So
I
like
don't
a
actually.
creative director. There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't oversee anything. I just kind of like make the logo and make everything look pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um and so does our other staff, our team member Alyssa. Shout out her. Anyway, sorry, I'm like rambling. Um yeah, I got into management, and then we did an award show and like all these things, and then we just like started expanding more and more, picking up more like writers and doing more things. And so yeah,